At least it appeared to be a normal night at the Frost home. Renowned for their enterprising nature, Kirk and Rasheeda have been attempting to keep their marriage intact while balancing their businesses and family obligations. Underneath the surface issues, though, were simmering whispers about Rasheeda's mounting frustrations and Kirk's allegiance as the pair made their way through the wild and glamorous world of reality television. Few pairs have had the same impact on viewers as Kirk and Rasheeda Buckner-Frost. Their trip through love, hip-hop, and ambition has been full of drama, love, treachery, and ambition, but recent occurrences have shocked their fan following, transforming their once-envied connection into a scandal that makes headlines. Although the event would have made for gripping entertainment, this was regrettably real life. The mood grew more intense as the evening went on. A heated dispute with loud voices and nasty comments swiftly developed from what started out as a debate over ordinary home problems. The noise scared the neighbors, so they called 911 to report a domestic disturbance. There was tension in the air when the cops got to the Frost residence. The police decided to arrest Kirk after doing a quick evaluation of the issue and speaking with both parties. Rasheeda was quite distressed and had red, puffy eyes from sobbing. Those who had followed the pair through their highs and lows on social media erupted in astonishment, amazement, and anxiety as soon as the news broke. And Downs had to face with the reality that their cherished partner was now embroiled in such a serious circumstance. In a passionate Instagram post, Rasheeda fanned the flames. "I should be treated with respect and given protection. I never thought I would have to cope with this." As the story progressed, it became clear that this wasn't just an angry outburst, but rather the outcome of deeper issues that had plagued their relationship for years. In the narrative, there was an image of her that conveyed her strength and fragility. In the days after the fallout, there was a powder keg of emotions waiting for the appropriate spark, as insiders for the entertainment industry speculated about the toll reality television stardom can take on private lives. When coping with inner problems, the need to project a flawless image can ignite a volatile mix of emotions. Some came together to stand with Rasheeda and ask her to prioritize her safety, despite their disagreements. While some fans criticized the tension that was apparent in both online and physical locations, others voiced allegiance to Kirk and begged for pity and understanding. "We've seen them go through so much." Rasheeda turned to close friends and family for support in her search for understanding and healing. She also reflected on her marriage and considered the benefits and drawbacks of each romantic vacation they had taken together, which seemed to have been accompanied by a moment of betrayal or disappointment. Although their lives were portrayed in a dichotomous manner for the cameras, the reality was far more nuanced. Before his court date, Kirk had to deal with the legal fallout from his actions, consequences of the event, and his marriage's actual state. He conveyed his sadness and confusion as he got ready for his court appearance, adding, "I love Rasheeda, and I want to make things right, but the road to reconciliation was anything but clear." As the day approached, the anticipation of the court hearing intensified, raising questions about whether Kirk would own up to his mistakes and whether Rasheeda would support him or decide to go on. Though the stakes were higher, the drama was reminiscent of the most gripping love and hip-hop episodes. Rasheeda was resolved to prioritize the health of both herself and her kids. Her close friends said that she was analyzing her alternatives and imagining what life would be like without Kirk. More hires since they knew what would happen. Their story concludes with a warning about love, faithfulness, and the complexities of interpersonal relationships. Real lives are at risk below the gloss and glamour of reality television, as the story of Kirk and Rasheeda has come to symbolize. Frost's journey was assured, even while the future remained uncertain. Kirk Frost leaned against the sleek countertop of his opulent studio, about to share a startling reality that had rippled through the entertainment world. A mixture of surprise and boiling rage characterized his look as the weight of his disclosure weighed heavily in the air. His ex-wife and former partner, Rasheeda, was accused of stealing $9 million from their joint ventures. "This is a reality I've been struggling with for far too long. It's not simply hearsay," Kirk began, speaking softly and a little bit passionately. Given that I had faith in her, the fact that she had been embezzling money from us seemed like a multifaceted betrayal. The studio, which was once a hub for collaboration and innovation, has taken on the atmosphere of a battlefield. Recalling their early days together, Kirk felt a twinge of sadness and longing. Together, they created a thriving music business empire, transforming their dreams into a well-known brand that branched out into lifestyle and fashion. Hard labor and mutual respect, at least that's what Kirk believed was the basis for their success. But as the business grew, so did the difficulties. As the memories came flooding back, Kirk shook his head and said, "I thought it was just mismanagement or accounting errors." But when I saw little at first but increasingly significant differences in their financial situation, began delving deeper. Finding records of transfers that made no sense was like watching a house of cards collapse before my very eyes. When he decided to have a forensic accountant examine the books, the situation only grew worse. When the report did come through, it was a stomach hit. The data, which showed concealed activities and prohibited withdrawals that clearly implicated Rasheeda, created a disturbing picture of treachery. "Devastating to see those statistics," he said, speaking little above a whisper. Disagreement over business decisions is one thing, but this was blatant stealing. Every day that went by increased Kirk's sense of dread as he waited for the results. His heart was racing. "I wasn't feeling great." Kirk remembered the moment the accountant handed him the report. The figures gleamed, a symbol of dashed hopes and misdirected faith. As social media exploded with the Kirk v. Rasheeda trend, the public gobbled up every aspect of the couple's turbulent past, filled with passion, love, and strife. Fans and followers of Kirk and Rasheeda responded with astonishment and dismay. "I had put all I had into building our business, so learning that the person I trusted the most was swindling me was a nightmare from which I would never fully recover." While the drama was intensifying, Kirk took some time to reflect about their relationship and the highs and lows they had shared over the years. "I never thought it would come to this. It feels like I'm losing not just a business partner, but someone who was once my best friend," said Kirk. Rasheeda didn't say much, which only encouraged speculation. Kirk let out his rage as he sat in the studio surrounded by relics of their prior shared goals, exclaiming, "I want answers. She should explain to me her actions and how she believes she could get away with them. Together, we constructed this." Money is not the only factor. Kirk began researching his legal alternatives because he was determined to get back what was gone. The loss was about more than money. It was about respect and integrity. Therefore, he felt compelled to take action. "I will not allow this empire to be stolen from me. I have built it with my own blood, sweat, and tears." Planning his next action and obtaining legal guidance, the impact from this disclosure would undoubtedly upend their combined personal and professional lives, and there may even be legal repercussions. How would this affect their relationship with supporters while Kirk handled this? Turbulent waves he went through. Rasheeda's purported treason was revealed by Buckner-Frost, which paved the way for an intense narrative that would enthrall viewers. Beneath the glitter and splendor of their public identities was a complicated web of feelings, wounded betrayal, and the unanswered riddle of how love could become so bitter. A renewed sense of purpose. "I owe it to myself and to our legacy to see this through," he said, arming himself for the fight that lay ahead via his epiphany. In spite of criticism and assurances from friends and allies that he wasn't waging this war alone and that it eventually came down to accountability, Kirk continued, saying that his resolve hardened and he wouldn't back down. Stop everyone who was watching. Kirk realized he needed to prepare for the approaching storm. That eventually the reality would. One thing was clear, despite the uncertainty of the future, the struggle between love and betrayal would take unforeseen turns, leaving spectators on the edge of their seats to see how this thrilling chapter would conclude. As he moved across the dimly lit living room, Kirk felt a rising tide of betrayal and hatred wash over him with each stride. He was so overcome by Rasheeda's revelation that he could hardly speak above a whisper. He said, "You really did it," his voice husky and stifling. "You cheated on me." Rasheeda stood with her arms crossed and an expression of defiance on her face. Kirk, you think you're the only one who can have fun once in a while. This isn't where I came to assign blame. His heart sank with rage and bewilderment. I knew who else, if anyone. Did you truly? I guess I should just give up and let it go. You had your fair share of late nights and whisper discussions, so you don't get to question me. Really, do you think I just ignore it? With a menacing glimmer in her eyes, she inched closer. I felt like we were making something real, but you gave me a bad impression. Kurt growled, "Well, welcome to the club." Her respiration quickened. "It's about defending myself, not about getting even." Her voice wavered, her arrogance twitching just enough to let him see the anguish hiding beneath the rage. "I have had enough of having to put up with this." Feeling crushed by treachery, he ran a hand through his hair. "You now have an excuse. You believe that you could get by simply cheating back." I stepped forward, hoping that you could change, and his voice steadied as he struggled to maintain composure. "One who is trodden upon. So why didn't you just tell me? Why didn't you confront me about what I have done?" "I never wanted that. I thought we were in this together," he said, acknowledging that the fire had momentarily gone out of her eyes. "To be honest, I couldn't have waited for you to make up your mind. You diminished my value. This combined, do you believe that I desire to be the one to lie? Every time I tried to talk to you, it was like hitting a brick wall. I felt invisible. I felt like I had no other choice." With tears glistening in the corners of her eyes, Rasheeda shook her head. Kirk took a long breath, his expression softening as the gravity of her remarks hit home. "I had no idea that I was trying to protect you by keeping things light. Keep us afloat by telling lies." He advanced one more step, his anger belying his frailty. She shot back, but her voice was no longer as keen. "Half-truths cannot build a friendship in silence. I'm sorry. I thought I could take care of things by myself. I didn't mean to hurt you. Tell me what you want right now." Her query was asked in a near whisper. "What do you want from us now?"